right, hello everybody. Welcome to TAPED Crusaders, the podcast that reviews every piece of crap superhero movie ever made. I am your co-host Mike L, and as always, I'm joined by Bex Luthor.
I'm here, and I'm not sure how many crappy movies our friendship is going to be able to take because we're creeping up there.
I know. I'm sorry, but this was kind of a maybe on the list, but it is Marvel, and I'm not sure if you did any research, but not only was this Marvel, this was one of the, possible beginnings of the Marvel universe. Like Avi Arad or whatever his name is, and Kevin Feige. This was, you know how the Dark Universe had like 5 failed launches?
The Dark Universe Cinematic Universe, right?
Yeah,
yes,
the Dark Cinematic. Yeah. You could consider this one of Marvel's failed attempts at launching the universe. Like, of all things, the Man-Thing. Can you believe that?
Well, if you have read a Man-Thing comic, which I don't believe anyone in the production of this has ever done,
yes.
It could make sense, him being like
sure.
a Nexus being and the Man-Thing is an interesting character with a deep lore and yep. And, man,
yeah.
Where was the Man-Thing?
Well, okay, so they basically made this movie not like a superhero movie, but more like almost like Friday the 13th with what called the Man-Thing. The way that they open the movie, they have a bunch of teenagers naked on a boat. They get killed. It's all very...
I love when there's random boobs in a movie. 10
Sure.
out of 10. I think this movie's rated R specifically so that they can show one pair of boobs and say fuck 8 times.
Yeah, you're totally right. You're totally right.
What a useless scene. Oh my god.
You're right, because it never came back, right? There was no nudity after that.
No. So I thought maybe there was going to be something.
Yeah.
Anything. No, they just wanted to. They were like, this girl's got really nice boobs. Let's put it in the movie. And to be fair, she does.
Yes, I'll agree with that.
However, it goes downhill from there, like right away. Yeah. I'm like, oh, boobs. And then I'm like, oh.
And the thing is if this was a bad Friday the 13th sequel, I could maybe enjoy it a little bit more. But when I know that there's some half-decent source material, like, I don't know if did you ever read any of the old 70s comics or any of the comics?
I'm familiar with Man-Thing. I haven't read too much of it, but when the Werewolf by Night, the MCU one came out, I did like do a lot of much more research on the character, and I'm more familiar with him. Okay.
So I read a handful of the stuff by Steve Gerber, and it's the key is that Man-Thing doesn't speak, right? So it's all about the supporting characters, and so Steve Gerber's a good writer, and he had from what I remember, a good supporting cast, and it was always funny. It was always a little bit satirical. But of course, this movie had none of that. They just tossed all that out the window.
It is one of the worst horror slasher movies I've seen. And I love scary movies. And slashers are one of my favorite type of scary movies. I love how fun they are. I love how creative they can be. This was neither of those things. This is not scary. This is barely a movie.
I agree. And Man-Thing's barely in it. Right?
Well, so he's in it, I think. What did the IMDb say? 11 minutes he's in it? You don't see him for 40 minutes of this movie. This movie's also an hour and a half, and it's an hour too long.
I agree.
We are walking around a swamp in this movie for so much of this movie, and I gotta say, I've never seen a more outdoors in my life. This was not outside. Yeah,
that's a good point. It looked very artificial. You're totally right.
We did not film this outside, even a little bit.
Yeah.
And it kept taking me out because I was like, what is this soundstage of the swamp?
Yeah.
And so like you see his hand a couple times and I'm like, oh, cool. And then when you finally see him at the last 5 minutes of the movie, I'm like, there he is.
Yeah.
I guess.
Pointless.
Which is a shame because I looked into some of the work that went into this movie. Some of it, some work, not all.
Okay.
Some of it was just like, we phoned it in big time, but they made a whole Man-Thing suit with the idea that they were told that it was going to be converted into a CGI monster.
Right.
But instead, They were like, we don't actually have the money for that, turns out. So we're just going to use the suit that was never intended to be seen and CGI a couple of Slender Man tentacles behind his back.
Yeah.
And you can tell. Like, why bother?
That's the key. Is this goes back to, I mean, what's his name? Avi Arad, or whatever his name is.
God, the worst thing that happened to Marvel.
He's been around forever, but he's produced so much crap. Like, how did he ever get into that position, right?
I think he was involved in Spider-Man, and everyone's like, that was good.
Yeah, I think you're right. And the thing is, apparently his excuse was that, well, did you know they filmed this in Australia?
Oh, yeah, I could tell because everyone's southern accent was very Australian.
Yeah, and apparently they're like, well, we couldn't supervise them. And I'm like, pay a plane ticket for one guy to go out there and overlook things, right? Like, come on.
But also, children didn't make the movie.
Right.
They didn't need to be supervised. Just hire someone competent.
Good point.
And then you don't get a bad movie.
So apparently this guy, the director, is Brett Leonard?
Yep.
Because he's also in the movie, and he doesn't look like a director. He looks like, I don't know what, but apparently he directed The Lawnmower Man.
He did. He did do The Lawnmower Man, which was probably the height of his career.
He did Highlander: The Source. Which
is, I've heard, the worst Highlander.
And he did T-Rex: Back to the Cretaceous, which no one's seen.
I was like, that's a sick poster, though. Okay. Oh, my God.
Are you looking at it right now?
Adventure film.
Okay.
Oh, I'm less.
So, okay.
Interested.
He was in the movie. His acting was okay. He wasn't terrible.
Who was he in this movie?
He was the bigger guy. I think he was the, what is that called? Not the mortician, but the
autopsy man.
Yeah, whatever that's called.
The coroner.
That was him. Yeah, the coroner. That was
God
him.
forbid. Oh, okay. You know what? He was one of the only people I thought was acting in this movie.
Yeah. Are you saying like you could tell he was acting, or you appreciated the effort?
No, there was a little bit of effort. He was like a character in this movie. I thought the main character's name was Mike almost to the end of the movie. His name is Kyle.
Yes. He was terrible, honestly. No offense to this guy. Oh my God. He was garbage.
Like, my famous quote of, just because you're bad at your job doesn't mean I should not like you. Oh my God.
I know, he was terrible, eh?
The worst. Just one of the worst horror movie protagonists I ever... Just like the least likable, no character, no personality, just a guy.
And his delivery was so like amateur, like, I don't know. It was like, I can't think of an example. I can't think of a line, but it just felt like that very like college level acting garbage that you see in like first year of university or whatever, It was like they were like, that guy doesn't look that weird. Let's get him. And then he read the script 20 minutes before they started filming. Yeah.
And he was like, I can memorize this. And then it turns out he couldn't. And he was reading his lines off cue cards the whole time. Sorry, bud, but this was not your best work, I'm sure. And I'm sure nobody looks on this movie fondly.
No. And it goes back to that time when studios were like, I always say my new theory is that superhero movies in the 90s and the 2000s were basically the same. They were given the same respect as like slasher films, right? Like Hellraiser 7 and Nightmare on Elm Street 5 and just almost straight to video trash, right? Most of it.
But even straight to video trash has its charm. This has no charm.
That's true.
Like, the only redeeming feature is shout out to Trish Walker, whose character name I don't remember.
We have to mention her. I'm glad you said it. Okay, just a minute. Let me open up my phone again. Her name was Rachel Taylor in this movie. Oh, no. Her name is Rachel Taylor.
Her name was Terry.
Yeah, her character was
I'm just going to call her Trish.
Terry Elizabeth something. I'm thrown off because I actually know a girl named Rachel Taylor. That's why it throws me off. But anyway. But she's so lovely, isn't she?
She is so Australian in this movie.
True.
I love that they were like, the take is good enough. I was like, well, we start the movie. Everyone's got very heavy Southern accents. We're in the South. We're in the swamp.
Yeah.
For about 10 minutes. And bless her heart, I'm sure they could not afford for any sort of speech coach for any of the actors. But she gets real Australian, like in the end. It's real funny.
Right.
But also, I wanted to point out, because it was one of the only enjoyable moments in this movie, her jeans are fantastic.
I guess they were. I didn't really pay attention to that. I mean, I did notice her physique, but
she was wearing like the 2005 low-rise,
nice,
like tight-fitting, embellished jeans.
Sure.
Which maybe not the best for a grade school teacher, but 10 out of 10 worked for me. Thank God it was something interesting to look at, because this movie is so bland.
Yeah.
And it's either beige or green, and it's neither interesting.
Well, see, now here's the one thing. I will give them credit for attempting to make this movie look like it took place in a swamp. Because did you ever see Wes Craven's Swamp Thing from 1982?
No.
So this is where I learned the very subtle difference between a swamp and I believe it's called a bog. You know, there's like
it's
different...
Yeah, it's like a chemical makeup is different, right? Like the pH levels or something?
Maybe I'm mixing it up with something else, but there's a swamp which is like trees growing out of water.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one, maybe it's not a bog. The other one is where, imagine like a lake or like a small lake, but there's all that grass that grows out of it, thick grass. Like we have in our area. Like I don't want to see the Swamp Thing in like LaSalle. I want to see the Swamp Thing in a swamp.
Yeah,
you know?
It needs to be swampy.
Right. So that's the one thing I'll give this credit for, even though, as you pointed out, it clearly is in a soundstage, right?
Well, I'm like, this is the problem with filming in Australia. Not a lot of swamps, I think, in Australia.
That could be
Sydney,
it.
Australia, where you filmed this movie. Kind of dry in Australia, actually. Typically.
Exactly, right.
So I don't know why you would film it in a swamp. You can't like rent out a swamp for the 4 days of production this movie had. Really, so why even make a movie about a man in a swamp?
I know.
It's so frustrating. Every part of this movie makes me so angry, and they had to say Man-Thing's name, like Ted Sallis. They're like, it's Ted Sallis. And I'm like, no, it's fucking not. How dare you? They're like, oh, also, we have to throw in the Native American mysticism because, they're Native American and they're mystical and magical.
It was handled so poorly. It could have been cool, but it was handled so poorly, right?
It could have been cool, but it was racist. And not from the source material. Like, the whole thing with Man-Thing, as I'm thinking, is Ted Sallis is working to recreate the super soldier serum as every other Marvel character in the 70s was. That's just what they did, and that's how they became the Hulk, Man-Thing. Everybody is just a failed super soldier experiment.
I think that's a later retcon, though. As far as I know, that was not what it was in the 60s. I think that was later, wasn't it?
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, I think so.
Was he just like an experiment? And then they were like, actually,
I think so. Yeah,
super soldier serum. Okay. But anyway, so Ted's like, crap, I don't want this serum to get into the wrong hands. Is running away. Decides the best place to hide the serum is in his own blood. 10 out of 10. 10. You're a smart man. Crashes into a swamp. Becomes Man-Thing. Right? That's like the basic origin. In this, the swamp is sacred ground.
Right.
And a bunch of white guys come in, and there's oil, because there's always oil, and they want to build a drill on the sacred ground, and Ted is like, no, so they kill him. Because dead man can't say no, I guess. They kill him in the swamp, and the spirit of the swamp takes over him, and he becomes the Man-Thing, and he is supposed to burn anyone who feels fear, and yet no burning in this movie takes place.
No burning.
And
no
the
fear.
one man who says he is not afraid gets killed. I'm pretty sure the Man-Thing is like, he's like empathetic, like he can sense emotion, like that's his main thing, is like he can sense when people have like malintent. So the fact that he kills so many innocent people in this movie is really frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
I get it that you want to make a monster movie, but don't make the Man-Thing then, because the Man-Thing is not a monster. He's not a mindless killing monster. He's somebody.
Well,
he has thoughts.
It's like when Joel Schumacher used Two-Face, and then he would flip a coin, but if he didn't get the result he wanted, he would just keep flipping it. That's not Two-Face.
Yeah, no. Two-Face doesn't that's his whole fundamental thing is that it's up to chance. Just like Man-Thing's entire fundamental thing is that he is a creature of empathy and can sense that, and only hurts people who fear him. And they go out of their way to kill a man who specifically says he's not afraid of him.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't imagine. Well, this didn't get a theatrical run in Canada, so you couldn't have seen it anyway. But I couldn't imagine going to the theater and seeing this and being like, "Oh, I love Man-Thing! Like, what a cool concept for a really not familiar with character," and then just shitting all over it.
Apparently, they did a test screening, and half the audience walked out. So they're like, "Ew, maybe we shouldn't send this to theaters. Maybe we should send it directly to the Sci-Fi Channel."
I was gonna walk out, and I was in my own bedroom watching this movie. Okay, I was like, you know what? I don't even want to be here anymore. You're not gonna
shut it off. You're gonna leave it on, but walk out.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm gonna walk out. I'm gonna leave my house. I'm gonna go around the block, go for a walk, think about what I just did.
Right.
Because like I said, I'm familiar with Man-Thing, but I'm not fully into the lore of it. But I couldn't imagine being a fan and watching your favorite characters get fundamentally just destroyed. Then don't make a Man-Thing movie.
I agree.
Make a swamp monster movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say he's like a being of the Nexus in the movie, and I was like, oh, okay, are we gonna go into that at all? No,
nothing.
Not even a little bit.
Nothing. There's so many things they could have done. I know
from the comics about Man-Thing, and they were like, actually, we're only gonna put one of those in the movie.
Mm-hmm. So there's one other interesting thing. Oh, by the way, your point about the super soldier thing, that is from the original. I just looked it up.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It's from the first appearance. But you are also familiar with another character we've mentioned called the Swamp Thing, right? Obviously.
Yeah, the parallel to the Man-Thing.
Now, the
exact parallel, because I'm familiar with both of their creation history.
So what's interesting to me is that Man-Thing was co-created by supposedly Stanley Roy Thomas, Gerry Conway, and Gray Morrow. Gray Morrow is the artist, but Gerry Conway we'll say is the main guy. But are you aware who created Swamp Thing?
What's his name? Is it also Gerry Conway?
No, Len Wein.
Oh, and they're friends though, right? That's the thing?
Oh, no, they were roommates. They were roommates when they
were roommates.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So Gerry Conway is at his keyboard or typewriter creating the Swamp Thing. Len Wein's on the couch sleeping in his apartment, and he's creating Man-Thing. And somehow no one ever thought, maybe they had something to do with each other.
Yeah, it had to have been a bit. So we're gonna make the same character. I'll make one for DC. You make one for Marvel. But he'll be the same-ish guy. We'll give him a couple differences in backstory or whatever, and his purpose will be a little bit different. But it's a very similar character. And we'll see how long it takes them to notice.
Right.
Well, it's 2026, baby, and I think you got away with it.
Right.
They did.
Right.
But aren't they both ripping off old swamp monsters from the 40s and 50s?
Yes, there's a character called the Heap. And that's apparently, he's the source for all other swamp monsters. You're right. You're right.
I mean, the idea of a big thing full of swamp goo coming out of the swamp, I'm sure is in a lot of historical, mythological stuff, right?
Yeah, could be.
Monsters in everywhere have come up in mythology over the centuries, so I'm sure it has some basis in something. But also, the swamps are goopy and scary. Maybe there's a big dude in there.
Well, also, pardon me, the fact that one's called Swamp Thing and one's called Man-Thing, maybe they should have differentiated them a little bit, right?
Well, especially because they're both very swamp related.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I find Man-Thing is tied to his swamp, right? That's his his place. That's where the reality is all converge, and a lot of his plots and relate around that swamp.
Right.
Swamp Thing is like just fully a nature-based guy. Like he's in the swamp, but he doesn't have a swamp. He is like tied to the green, like the sense of nature for the DC universe.
Right.
It's kind of like a Greenland Iceland thing, right? Where
exactly. And those still confuse people to this day. Anyway.
Well, that's my favorite thing ever is to go into a comic book store and purposefully confuse Swamp Thing and Man Thing and watch the men in there be mad at me.
Yeah.
So
works every time, right?
Without fail, actually, to this day, 30 years later.
Nice. So here's the thing. We've barely talked about the plot. You know, it's funny. I watched this movie and it's hard to keep track of, but basically a bunch of people are getting killed, including the former sheriff, right?
Oh yeah, he was killed by the oil guys. Because they find out middle of the movie that he was actually shot.
Right. So
I'm guessing he like figured out the oil guys are doing illegal shit, and then they shot him in the swamp, and then the swamp took him.
And there's always the stupid ongoing plot where no one believes that this is a monster killing them, so they're just like, oh, it's a gator for like half the movie, right?
Yeah, and like that one body has gator bites on it, because like I'm sure a floating body, gators would eat it a little bit. But also like 50% of the deaths in this movie are just dudes shooting dudes, and 50% of them are actually Man Thing.
Right.
I will say, there's a couple cool deaths.
Okay.
When they like go into the one office and that guy has the true roots coming out of his mouth. That's some cool like FX work.
Sure.
I did like that. That did look a little bit. The framing is bad and like the setup is bad, but like whoever worked on that prosthetic on that, 10 out of 10. Like you're good at your job. I'm sorry that the director ruined it.
Yeah, and the actor and some of the actors.
And all the actors, and the lighting guy probably, and everybody. But yeah, so this movie's just about oil, and then also there's a Man Thing. And that's the plot. And then it turns out that they're both bad. And so the cop that we've been following this whole time eventually puts all the pieces together of this crazy mystery that I solved within the first 5 minutes of seeing the one guy going, I'm going to take all the oil from this swamp. I was like, he's going to take all the oil from the swamp. Man Thing doesn't like that.
Right.
So, cool. I got it. But anyway, Kyle, or Mike, I was calling him Mike the whole time. His name's Kyle.
Yeah.
So he like finally shows up to the swamp, and the Man Thing finally shows up. And of course, Trish Walker's there because she couldn't just stay behind. She has to get herself in trouble. And then a guy is going to blow up the oil rig, and he does so. And I guess Man Thing is happy about that because then he goes away. And doesn't kill Kyle and Trish Walker for some reason. Even though he killed like children and his so-called friend who was also Native American who wasn't afraid of him, and Stan Lee is one of the people in the missing posters. Like Man Thing killed Stan Lee. Like no thought went into this.
Okay, I gotta admit there was two characters I kind of liked. You know the two were they brothers? Those two like hillbillies.
Rodney.
Was that his name, Rodney? Oh, Rodney. I
remember that because
Rodney
he yells
Thibodeau.
it.
Yeah.
The whole movie, like in that when they're in the swamp, he's like Rodney, like 8 times in a row.
Rodney and is it Wayne?
Yeah,
no, Ian.
Rodney and Wayne. I thought it was Wayne.
Yeah, Wayne.
No, Wayne. Yeah, the Wayne. Hillbillies who they make their living by killing crocodiles and like putting them in formaldehyde and selling them to tourists, and I think that's funny. And I love that they're like implied to be bad guys the whole time, but they're not. They're just dudes. They just live there. Like I did like them.
And
Very
the thing
funny.
is, they were actually like competent like actors. And the problem is as soon as the cop, the main protagonist shows up, he feels like he's a bad guy because he's just kind of unlikable, right?
Well, he comes into this town with no backstory, does no research. And he's like, well, I'm the new sheriff. And everyone's telling him, was like, oh, you don't know shit.
Uh-huh.
And he doesn't.
Right.
There's so many questionable decisions that he makes in this whole time. Like, he's like, oh, I'm going to keep going back to the swamp to look for this guy.
Right.
Don't do that. People are dying in the swamp. Don't go there.
Uh-huh. They could have taken this premise and made a good movie out of it, but they didn't, right? It's almost like it could have been like a good X-Files. Like, they could have just hired a writer from the X-Files to make the story better, I think, right? But they just didn't.
Well, the concept of Man-Thing is so fascinating and cool.
Mm.
And, like, the idea that he, like, senses people's emotions and he can't speak and his swamp is the center where realities combine and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cool. And he's a big monster, swamp monster.
Right.
Cool. Could have been a really interesting horror movie, even if you ignore his humanity and any other character aspect of the Man-Thing. Could have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, so comparing this to our recent entries into the proto-Marvel universe, we've had Punisher, we've had help me out here, the Hulk, we've had
Hulk.
Spider-Man, Blade.
We're not gonna count Spider-Man. Spider-Man's a good movie.
Yeah, and that's Sony.
The Blade movie is a good movie.
Yeah.
X-Men 1 and 2 are passable
Decent.
movies.
Yeah.
They got, at least the X-Men in those movies are, I could be like, oh, that one's Cyclops.
Yeah, right.
This might be one of the worst ones. This one might be one of the more offensive ones.
I think you're right. Yeah, okay, so if we're comparing it to other bad superhero movies, like, we agree that Catwoman was better than we remembered it to be, or thought it would be. Elektra's better. Yeah. Oh yeah, maybe I was the one that liked Catwoman. Okay.
For some reason.
Yeah.
Elektra was fine.
Was surprisingly good, yeah.
I'd watch Elektra 10 times over watching this. At least somebody read one Elektra comic and was like,
Right.
she's an assassin. She's the
Right.
best at what she does. She's sad and
Mhm.
she's mad. And I'm like, yep.
Mm-hmm.
This one, they're like,
Yeah.
he's a Man-Thing.
Yeah.
What does he do? He lives in the swamp. Oh, why? Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Oh, how'd he get there? Shut up. Shut up. Here's some titties. Shut up.
I think, now that I'm thinking about it, even if you compare this to Roger Corman's Fantastic Four, Dolph Lundgren Punisher, you're right, this could be the worst one.
All those other movies have something that, like, I get it at least a little bit. I'm like, you know what? This is stupid.
But
at least it was a movie. But this
Yeah.
is one of those. This is like Captain America 2 that you made me watch. This is like such a nothing burger of a movie.
True.
There is nothing. And I think what makes it more offensive than that Captain America movie is the Captain America movie is just boring.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is boring and bad and
Yeah.
stupid.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
And takes such like a shot to the source material.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like very purposeless. It lost a lot of money and didn't get given a lot of money to make. So it's like, just don't make it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it just shows, I don't know what happened with Marvel, but they obviously got their act together. But this was the early days when, again, this was around the time of the two Punisher films, the original Ghost Rider, which of course I enjoy, the original Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider's good. Ghost Rider's fine. Ghost
is.
Rider has a story and a plot, and Nick Cage acts in that movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All things that this movie lacks.
Yeah.
Any thought. Well, it's still better than Green Lantern, though, so.
I don't know about that. Honestly, I think Green Lantern's better, but I hated Green Lantern. Yeah.
I think Green Lantern might have made me angrier because I actually like Hal Jordan.
Me too. I think that's the key. Yeah, whereas like I have no attachment to Man-Thing.
Yeah, which I feel bad for the people who do, because I'm sure there's people out there who very much love the Man-Thing.
Sure.
And were devastated and felt the same way I did when I watched Green Lantern.
Right.
But probably worse, because like, at least there was money put into the Green Lantern movie. It wasn't good or put in the right spot.
And then a good director too, and good actors. Ryan Reynolds.
Sure, he's so good in that movie.
Well, not in that movie, but again, it's kind of funny how we talked about Ryan Reynolds. He went from being Hannibal King to Green Lantern to Deadpool, and now we have Rachel Taylor, who went from playing whatever this girl's name is to Trish Walker. Isn't that funny?
And then Chris Evans was Johnny.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
And yeah, that's true.
Like,
it happens.
We're getting a lot of upgrades for actors who deserved it in specifically superhero related media. But we could just not make shit like this again, I think. Unlike when you look at the garbage movies they're making now, when you look at like Ant-Man Quantumanium, it wasn't as bad as this. This is just so bad.
I hated that movie, but yeah, there was still Paul Rudd was still in it. So
yeah, so sometimes it's fine.
Yeah, I agree.
Like there was a couple jokes where I was like, heh.
Yeah,
and like
right.
The Ant-Man suit looks cool, and his relationship with his daughter is an interesting thing in a movie.
And his daughter was cool. Yeah.
Kang's there, kind of. But there's nothing in this. There's nothing.
No. So of all the movies we've watched, and I'm going as far deep as like Doc Savage and like you said, Captain America 2, this could be the one that I would not recommend anyone see. It's that bad. It's that boring.
Yeah, not even like for like a historical like superheroes in media portrayal before like Disney bought Marvel. You don't need to see this. No one needed to see this. This didn't need to get made. You gain nothing from watching this other than some mild frustration at best, and at worst, if you genuinely care about Ted Sallis as a character, some absolute nightmare fuel of frustration for a character that you could potentially really like. Because at least with Catwoman, that's not Selena Kyle.
Right.
Right? So I'm not that perturbed about a weird alternate universe.
You're right. And at least the director of Catwoman had a style. This director is not good. Not particularly good.
It's so boring. And like it's a slasher movie. Although there was one shot in this movie where there's a guy walking into an office, like when they're on the oil rig, and it's shot from outside the window, and he walks into the room, and he shot from outside the window, and you see him walking in, and I was like, oh, a shot in a movie. And then nothing else happens for the rest of the movie, and I was like, oh, never mind. We're not being creative or interesting at all.
Yeah.
And like, it's like those billionaires that make art and sell it for $1 billion and it has no emotion or anything. It's just made for the purpose of being bought. It feels gross.
That's a good point. That's a very good analogy. This movie's offensive because we know that, Steve Gerber and the original artists, they did put some passion into those, 70s comics. So it's actually offensive to them to make this movie as shitty as they did, right? Yeah,
I hope this is the only time where I'm glad that Marvel probably didn't pay any of their creators any money, because I wouldn't want myself attached to this at all.
Right.
Financially or otherwise. Gerry Conway's like, actually, I didn't make anything. This has nothing to do with me.
So I don't know. Is there anything else to say about Man-Thing?
The MCU special Werewolf by Night is really cool.
Yeah, it is cool. It was a nice surprise, and Man-Thing's in that. Yes, definitely check that out.
That's actually probably one of my favorite MCU things of all time. I think
it's up there. Yeah,
because it's very interesting. It takes a bunch of characters that aren't very popular, even within the Marvel universe itself. You got Werewolf by Night, you got Elsa Bloodstone, you got Man-Thing. They're all established in it. It's very interestingly shot. The plot is cool. The action is cool. The black and white is cool. I have seen it in color too, but there's something about the black and white that just feels old school monster movie to me. It's like an homage to old school monster movies. Somebody read a comic maybe before they made it. Just maybe even they read the Wikipedia for a couple comics before they made it.
Right.
Which is always appreciative, I think, when you're adapting something. So just watch that. Because there's no point.
Agree.
I feel bad to all the Australians who had to work on this.
It's so sad because, one of the reasons I wanted to do this podcast was to catch up on all those movies I missed, like this, Green Hornet with Seth Rogen. But I guess there's a reason I missed a lot of these because most of them are terrible.
Well, what's crazy to me is you were in 2005 when this movie came out, primed to be able to consume it. Like the internet was new, but like still accessible. You could have found a way to watch it.
Sure.
And you didn't. And there's probably a reason for that.
Didn't bother. Yep. You're totally right.
I wasn't allowed to see it because there was boobs. And I was a baby. But and we all know babies can't see boobs ever. That's not
right.
Mm-hmm. There are some things like how you hadn't seen Elektra that I'm like, you know what, you should probably see Elektra.
Sure,
it's very interesting, and the creation of that movie is very interesting, and the backlash from that movie is very interesting, like Jennifer Gardner's career and all that stuff is very interesting. There's nothing interesting about this movie.
Agree.
Which is crazy because it's Man-Thing.
I'm sure that one day they could make a good Man-Thing movie. In fact, if they can keep doing those horror one-offs, like Werewolf by Night, they could do Tomb of Dracula, they could do Spawn of Frankenstein, and they could do this, right?
They could get a Howlin' Commandos movie.
Sure.
With all those characters. I think maybe they work best as like a character in something else bigger.
Sure.
Like, not that Man-Thing can't carry his own movie, but he does not speak.
Right. So they need to develop the supporting cast.
There would need to be a supporting cast, right? And I think what they did with the special where they made Werewolf by Night and Elsa Bloodstone, his supporting cast, like, oh, they're friends. They already have this backstory. Like, it's very established already. I like that. Because then you have to go into the whole Nexus portal realities thing. And I think people are tired of reality hopping, at least for right now.
You're right. You're right.
We'll see what happens when Doomsday comes out.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, those trailers.
Uh-huh. We were just talking about that last night. I think Josh is so fed up with Marvel, he's not even going to bother seeing it, but...
Aww. That makes me so sad because, one, I also think all 4 of these trailers are garbage. But that Cyclops suit, I just want to watch that 30 seconds.
Here's the thing.
In a vacuum. I don't want to see anything else around it at all.
Okay. I actually am at the point where I might see Dune instead of Avengers on opening night.
You should.
Yeah, I think I will. Just to make a statement.
Yeah.
And they will notice, yeah.
They'll be like, holy shit.
My 1999 is going to make a dent, yeah.
The Syndicate didn't review Doomsday when it came out.
Yep. They waited 24 hours.
It's because they didn't see it.
So here's the thing, Becca. We've been talking about movies and TV shows and unreleased movies that we missed when they first came out. And next episode, we are going to watch a doozy. Are you ready for it? Do you have any guess what it could be?
No, I'm just terrified every time. I'm scared because I watch these movies and then I have to talk about them and then I have to hear what's next.
How about the unreleased pilot of Aquaman? Remember that?
Based off the Smallville Aquaman?
Yes.
This is also an Australian production, isn't it?
I don't know about that. Maybe. But I am so gung-ho because I am a big Aquaman fan, as you know.
Mike loves Aquaman.
This is true.
Anybody who doesn't know anything about Aquaman doesn't like Aquaman. That's what I've usually said. Same with Superman, right? If you don't like Superman, you've never read any Superman comics. And if you don't like Aquaman, you've never read any Aquaman comics. Also, Aquaman DC animated movies, some of the best. Very cool.
I don't think I've seen them. How many are there?
Couple.
Okay, I'll have to check those out. Interesting.
Aquaman and Wonder Woman have really good animated movies. Batman is like 50-50 for animated movies. Because sometimes they're really good.
So many.
And sometimes they're the Killing Joke. And
Right.
we change it for some reason and make it worse.
Yeah. That's a good point.
But
you don't change Alan Moore anyway.
Yeah, like it was already a good just one-for-one adaptation. No, Bruce has to sleep with Barbara Gordon. Very important. Otherwise, we don't care about when she becomes paralyzed.
Yeah.
If we don't see her boobs.
That's another conversation.
You can tell I have a lot of feelings about it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm excited about this. I've never seen this, and I'm currently, as you know, watching Smallville, and I've already been introduced to Aquaman, and I'm liking him. I'm also liking the Green Arrow actor too. Anyway.
Yeah, all those guys. I remember that like Justice League that gets formed in the middle of Smallville. That's very fun.
Society, right? I think.
I don't know if they ever.
Oh no, you're right.
First
it's the League, then it's the Society, but they don't call it the League. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like later, but the League, like, because they have like a Flash, right? He shows up eventually. Yeah. I know Zatanna's in an episode, and that's pretty sick. Zatanna's only live action. I haven't got there yet,
but I'm looking forward to
adaptation. It. Cyborg's there, and he has a hoodie. I remember that.
Yep.
That's his costume.
I know, right?
But what's important is the people who made those episodes maybe cared a little bit about the characters.
Agreed.
Unlike Man-Thing, which, you know what? I take everything back. Everybody involved in this movie can go to hell.
Ooh! Even Rachel Taylor?
Yeah, and the entire country of Australia. Like, I'm sorry.
Yikes.
You've got to take this one for the team, and I'm just pissed about it.
All right.
Pissed.
On that note, we're hopefully never going to see a movie this bad again, but the next episode, like we said, we're going to be doing Aquaman, so be sure to join us. Every episode's available at comicbooksyndicate.com or YouTube. I want to thank Bex Luthor for joining me.
You're not welcome.
All right. Woo! And until the next time, see you later.
Bye.